When do we get back to normal? So that is a question that I think we've all asked way too often over this past year. We've asked it to the internet as we've endlessly scrolled through the CDC's website. We've asked it to Northeastern as we've wondered when we can get back to our spring fests and our club sports games and our husky hunts. And we've asked it to ourselves as we've stared at the ceiling in our apartments, listening to the Dua Lipa album and wondering if we will ever go out again. But it's also a question that doesn't really make much sense. Because honestly, what the hell is normal? Even before the mess that 2020 was, we were already a generation that was used to change. We have revolted against so many of the ideas that we grew up with, becoming more comfortable talking about things like mental health, sexuality, and privilege. We have already accepted that we'll have to spend our whole lives fighting a different once-in-a-lifetime public health crisis, climate change. And over the past 4 to 5 years, our lives have changed even more. Don't believe me? Ask yourself these questions. Did you have TikTok on your phone when you first came to Northeastern? How did you used to feel about the royal family? And when were you first told that you were on mute? But on a more serious note, think back about who you were when you first came to this university. For me, that person was an insecure gay kid who stayed in the closet all throughout high school in a socially conservative community in Kansas, and who didn't know if he would ever find meaning in life. And now, think about everything that you've accomplished here, and how that shaped who you are today. For me, that person is a less insecure gay kid who's found purpose in public service through co-ops at the city, state, and federal levels of government, and who loves biking to parks and dancing with friends. In our time as Northeastern students, we have traveled the globe, serving in refugee camps in Greece, studying inequality in South Africa, and researching international law in Geneva. We have learned to appreciate the value of different cultures, while also realizing that innate humanity that ties us all together. Thanks to our co-ops, we know what it's like to search for jobs, and then to get rejected from some of those jobs, and then to feel that real fulfillment that can come from our work. We have found mentors who have helped us do everything from finding out where the copy machine is, to figuring out what we want to do with our careers. And we've learned what it's like to have a team be counting on us, and then to live up to those expectations. We've also given back to communities around the globe. We've taught school kids about mental health and well-being. We've supported water infrastructure in developing countries. And we volunteered at huge events like the Boston Marathon. We know that it's not enough just to be good workers. We have to be good citizens as well. And last but not least, in our classes, we've had tough conversations with our classmates that have changed our minds about everything from economics to medicine. We have stayed up until 3 a.m. at some of the worst, but also some of the best late-night study sessions. And we have gotten some truly, truly awful grades on projects and tests that we really thought we would do better on. But hey, we still made it here today. And then we get to this past year. Before I go any further, I think it's important that we acknowledge how so much of what we went through over this past year sucks. Our world has had to endure a pandemic that has taken millions of lives and disproportionately impacted communities of color. Every single one of us has been hurt by this pandemic in our own way, but because of COVID-19, none of us could spend our senior year spending time with our family members and with our friends without feeling like we might be giving them a life-threatening disease. It sucks that we had to cancel our co-ops and our study abroads, that we had to deal with the stress and anxiety of virtual classes, and also that we had to cope with the real or feared loss of people that we love. That sucks, and you shouldn't feel bad for thinking that. And yet, there have also been some true silver linings from this past year. We have learned how to feel close to our family members and our friends, even when we are miles apart. I probably invited a lot of you to my Zoom dance parties, but I will be honest, a lot of you did not show up. We learned that we really can do our work from our own homes, even if it is really hard some days. And we have learned the absolutely crucial importance of having a school-wide meme collective. Even bigger than that, though, over this past year, we have seen firsthand the effects of things like science denialism, of large-scale mismanagement, and of institutional racism. But we know that none of those were new problems. Over the past year, we were just forced to reckon more collectively with all of the flaws in that normal that we were used to. What an opportunity we have then to go out and to fix those problems that are so deeply ingrained in our policies, in our communities, in our industries, and also in ourselves. We have been through so much over this past year, and we will not let that be for nothing. So, whether you are a computer scientist or a life scientist, an artist or an engineer, a social worker or a small business owner, this is our chance. We have got to go fix this. And quite honestly, I can't think of a better group of people to go do it. So, let's take all of our Northeastern experiences, along with that network of peers and mentors and friends that we made here, and let's go make this world a better place. Let's make a new normal that we can all be proud of. Thank you so much, and congratulations.